so sweet, the rapper. Remix, baby. Lollipop, lollipop, West is just like Dolly Parton. She ride my spaceship till she hit the top. That hit the spot till she asks how many licks do it take till she get the shot. Don't worry why my wrist got so free. Tell a girl like Doritos, that's nacho cheese. Tell her friends like Fritos, I'm trying to late. I can only...
It is thebarlive.com. You're listening to the YNR Radio Show. You're hanging out here with the boys. I'm Patrick.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joey.
And thanks for joining in this week. It has been one hell of a week.
Has it been?
Hell of a week.
Hell of a week. A hell of a week.
We're going to tell you all about it here in just a little bit. It is May 23rd. Thanks for hanging out with us. 6 weeks going strong right here at thebarlive.com. We're glad to be here with our friends. Pug's sitting over here behind us.
Hey, Pug.
He's sitting in on us. He's watching and he's telling everybody what's going on.
He's taking notes for his
Yes.
PMS show. He's like, how can I improve my show? Let's listen to these guys.
He said he was just going to sit in here quietly and not like participate. But I bet if we talk about him long enough, he jumps in.
I bet he would. We'll get to that later.
Make him very uncomfortable.
You guys should see what he's wearing. It's ridiculous.
Actually, we should take notes from him. His show's right there is probably better than ours.
I know. I'm just talking.
Probably.
He has more listeners sitting in a chair doing nothing than we do. Well, anyway, we've got a packed show for you this week.
Yes.
Actually, we don't. We haven't really prepared at all. We've been on a
Nothing.
camping trip, and we're going to talk about the camping trip. I'm going to save all talk about the camping trip. We're going to do it at the beginning of the second segment. We're going to
Can we just do the whole second segment, the camping trip? Because I've got 3 stories.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple myself. So let's. I'm excited. Second segment. Stay tuned.
It's going to be awesome.
Stay tuned.
You want to give a teaser? The camping trip was awesome, but there was something huge that happened.
Don't tell him.
Something always happens on.
I'm not
camping
gonna
trips.
tell him.
Something always happens.
Something huge happened, and this was, it didn't turn out the best for some of us on this trip. But we'll talk about that in the second segment, so stay tuned. Always, we're going to kick it off with news here in a little bit. We're going to do a little city sports.
City sports.
Then we'll do our plugs and shout-outs, and then we'll figure it out from the rest on there. You guys ready to jump into it?
Let's jump.
Let's dive in, man. Head
All right.
first.
Jump. Make it wanna
You guys want to do your news?
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to do news.
News.
I'm telling you, we need that on a video, on like a recorded, so we don't have to do that every single time.
I agree. Let's
I
do
keep
that.
forgetting to do it.
Yeah.
Well, add that to the list of things we promised to do and we never do.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
I'm here, man.
Hey, I show up every Wednesday from 2 to 4, from 4 to 6.
All right, this week in the news.
Yes.
I've got a couple stories here for you. Check this out. A wingman, his name is Gary Connery. He completes 2,400-foot jump without a parachute.
What? 2,400 feet without a parachute. How
He's
did
a
you-
right.
witch.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No. Keep going.
Gary Connery, a
I like-
42-year-old daredevil, plunged from a helicopter in a death-defying jump before he landed in an area containing 18,600 cardboard boxes.
Oh, it's a stuntman.
He's a stuntman, the father of 2, a veteran of 880 skydives, 450 base jumps, and dozens of film and television roles, jumped this afternoon above Ridgewood Bucks to become the first person to jump from such a height and live without deploying a parachute.
Was he wearing any like protective stuff? Like
I think he actually had, those bat wings or whatever they
Did he-
have, the glider things. I think
Yeah.
he was actually wearing one of those to kind of slow him down a little bit. So he kind of glided into the boxes.
He lived, but did he hurt himself? I mean, like he could be alive in a coma.
Well, let's
don't
continue.
know.
Let's continue reading and see what happens here. The entire flight of nearly a mile took less than a minute and was only given the green light because the weather conditions were perfect. Mr. Connery from Henley in Thames, Oxon, dropped for 3 seconds before reaching speeds of more than 80 miles an hour in a developed wingsuit. So yeah, he was in one of those, weird
yeah.
suits.
Awesome.
He landed on a
Most
strip measuring about 350 feet by 45 feet, and at its highest point, 12 feet off the ground. So those are all the cardboard boxes he landed on.
I bet you that hurt. Because at the end at Christmas time when you use the wrapping paper and you have the cardboard things, you always hit each other with them afterwards.
I don't think it felt like good.
Yeah, I mean that hurts, and that's like 2 inches of cardboard, let alone like 12 feet of it.
I bet he had some really bad like paper cuts. Cardboard paper cuts are the worst.
It's all itchy afterwards.
Really, is cardboard boxes like the best thing you can come up with to land on?
I don't know. Aren't there foams and stuff like that, or a big
Like
pile of
bubble wrap?
soiled mattresses?
Bubble wrap or styrofoam?
Bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap would be awesome. It'd be a loud like popping explosion. Sound like fireworks when it landed. Bubble wrap is what I should have done.
Guinness Book World Record for the most bubbles popped
At
at one
once.
simultaneous time.
Write that down.
That's the list.
All right, well, here's not such a happy story.
Okay.
Okay. Marijuana was found in a 6-year-old's backpack.
That's terrible.
6 years old.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Crazy kids and their drugs.
6-year-old. Police in Florida said they arrested the father of a 6-year-old whose backpack was found to contain more than 3 ounces of marijuana and a scale.
Wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Why was this kid carrying this around?
He grabbed the wrong backpack.
St. Petersburg police spokeswoman said the kindergartner showed up with the drugs and a scale to a teacher Tuesday at Campbell Park Elementary Marine Science Center in the Tampa Bay. Police said the child's father, Larry Cornelius Stevens, 25, claimed ownership of the drugs and was arrested on charges of child abuse and possession of marijuana with intent to sell. We think he claimed responsibility so that he knew that it didn't belong to his child.
Well,
So-
would anybody have rightfully thought the 6-year-old had 3 ounces of marijuana on a scale?
And knew how to measure it. And, like,
Is there such thing as still being honorable by claiming responsibility of your child bringing drugs? At least I didn't let him take the blame, right?
Oh, no.
That's
I'm
bad.
speechless. That's terrible.
That's horrible.
That's just
It's just terrible.
Father of the year, right there.
Terrible.
Father of the year. Here's another story. Police. Semicolon.
Police. Okay. Okay.
Police semicolon. Drunk driver had zebra and parrot. Now that I saw that news title and I said I have to read this.
That would have stopped me too, dead in my tracks.
Right. This story posted in Iowa. Police in Iowa said a man arrested on drunk driving charge had a zebra and a man-caw in the front seat of his truck. Police said that Gerald Rader, 55, of Cascade, had his exotic pets in the front seat of his truck when he was pulled over Sunday as he left the doghouse lounge. So he had a zebra, a parrot, in the front seat of his car.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
How do you fit a zebra in the front seat of your car?
I don't
Drunk.
know. What kind of car is it? Yeah, doing it sober would be difficult enough. I saw them do a dead one in Tommy Boy, and it didn't turn out well for them. But the live one, I can't imagine that thing being thrilled about being in the car.
Police said
What do you charge him with?
police said he had a blood alcohol content of 0.14, well over the 0.08 legal limit. He said he was not planning to drive home and was about to let the passenger take the wheel when police arrived. Said he and his girlfriend, Vicky, treat the animals like their children and often let them ride in the car.
I bet they enjoy it more than the animals do, because I took my cat in the car one time. It was real pissed for days.
You know, some dogs or cats like to ride in the car, some don't. Imagine the chances of a zebra like to ride in a car with a parrot.
What kind of car was it?
I bet the parrot was bickering, like
I
telling
bet
the
the
zebra
parrot
to shut
was-
up.
I
backseat.
find more comforting than anything.
That's so weird.
This next one is posted in Austin.
All right.
We drove through Austin.
Yeah.
At least I did.
That's his name.
That is. You guys are ridiculous.
Captain Obvious.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is YNR.
Anyway, the University of Texas Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs apologized for leaving the L out of its public commencement programs.
There was a pubic commencement process.
The school issued an apology Monday for the unfortunate typo on the covers of all the programs, which were distributed at the graduation ceremony during this weekend.
There were two guys in the yearbook, like club or whatever, that were just high-fiving the whole time.
They say our deepest apologies to our 2012 graduates for our typo in our commencement program. The school said that's what they said on their Twitter page. Said we are working to distribute new programs.
Hope someone lost their job over that one.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
No. Well, that's all I have for news this week. So why don't we scoot down here a little bit and go into something we like to call City Sports.
City Sports. All right, I got some cool stuff. Okay, speaking of drunk driving, check out. You guys knew, I don't know, this happened I think while we were gone, but John Bones Jones, the Christian UFC guy, he got in a DUI driving his Bentley or something like that. Anyways, it's a big deal because he was saying he's setting a really bad example and all this other stuff. Said he screwed up big time, and he was arrested. Let's see, I got the story down here. That was part of it. That was a follow-up to it, was the fact that he was apologizing on Facebook about it. But he got here it is. He was arrested early morning, totaled his Bentley in upstate New York. Law enforcement sources tells TMZ Jones was involved in an accident around 5 a.m. at Binghamton, New York. I don't know. We're told the car, which Jones crashed into a pole. He told the cops arrested Jones on the scene for DUI. According to sources, Jones was taken into custody by a Broome County sheriff and bailed out a few hours later by his mom. Basically, what was funny about that is earlier, Jones filmed a video during that year through police training. Like the cops are showing him how to do certain things, on the Broome County Sheriff Department. Basically, they arrested him. That was the same county that he was training with. So, like, he knew the guys that were arresting him, like, for DWI. And he was trying to be a good example. I don't know.
That's kind of awkward.
Yeah, it was like.
Have you ever had to been bailed out by your mom before?
Oh, my dad did one time.
I've been bailed out by my mom twice, and it was really
brutal.
It's not like I'm a criminal or anything. Like, I got a ticket for like inspection and didn't pay it and got pulled over.
Exactly.
I'm like, do we really have to go through all the motions for this? This is ridiculous.
I was like 25. My dad was threatening to take me and like make me join the army. I was like, I didn't say anything because what are you gonna say when he's bailing you out of jail? But I was like, okay, Dad, sorry.
My dad, the first time my dad was actually out of town, he called the jail and told him not to let me out.
Sit him down.
My mom felt bad and came and bailed me out after a couple hours.
Good old mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. This guy used to play for UCLA, Reeves Nelson. Basically, he was slammed with a de facto. How do you say that word?
Defamation of character.
No, that's not what it says.
What is it?
Defamatory article. Ran amok on campus. Basically said that he peed in one of his buddy's bed at school, and it like was slander or something. And he's suing Sports Illustrated for not I don't know, releasing the issue.
See, this is a story of many from people in sports. We look at them as idols, but they're just everyday
like
people. They're screwing up. They're partying.
When I was in college, me and my roommate used to fluff each other's pillows. Like when I knew he was coming home, I'd go in there and fart a good one into his pillow, so that when he went to bed, I knew he was breathing in my fart.
But isn't it kind of common knowledge that every once in a while, an athlete that's at the top is going to do something ridiculous, and we're going to have to be like, oh, we looked at him as an idol. Is it not like something that we're expecting?
That's what everyone's waiting for with Tebow. No one's excited about him succeeding in this whole thing. He's made a name for himself for being a Christian. They're just waiting for him to slip up and fall.
How old is Tebow? 27. He's 27, so he's still a kid, man.
I mean, he's bound for it.
He's our age, and he's out there, and he's going to be partying. I'm sure
he'll have his back when he does.
I'm sure he'll get tangled up in something, and it'll make headlines news.
Even if it's a lie, it'll be there. There'll be some kind of scandal.
He'll probably end up getting dragged into something he doesn't want to do, and it'll make headlines, and something like that.
Yeah, that's a great transition. I got a story about Tebow.
All right.
He he was allegedly asked for twit pic to be taken down, a Twitter picture that someone posted. He was backstage with the cast members of the Broadway musical Rock of Ages. I guess these girls are pretending to be strippers or something like that. He took a picture with them, and someone tweeted it, and he asked to take it down. And then they said... it was funny because, due to Tebow's image, I was shocked to remove the pic of him with us half-dressed ladies. He does know we aren't real strippers, right? And then said something, I don't know. But I guess he just doesn't want to look bad. So he took down a picture.
Starting already. He's censoring his life.
He is.
He's just trying to protect that image that's making him so much money right now.
Right. And it's probably making him a lot of money.
No kidding.
Didn't we talk about a couple weeks where he did a sermon or something outdoors Easter. In front of like all these people? It was Easter, right?
Yeah.
He's 24.
24.
Man, he's younger.
No,
so he's younger than us, and we're still screwing up.
Yeah.
This guy's got it coming for sure.
Yeah, just wait.
We
wait.
sound like we're rooting for it. We sound terrible right now.
I'm not going to say I'm a Tebow fan. I respect what he does and his image that he wants to portray, but eventually I'm going to laugh when it's not there anymore.
People screw up. That's what happens. I mean, you can't get over it. Can't get around it. Speaking of scring up, China. You guys remember her from the
the wrestler?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old is she?
She's getting up there.
I might have the information. I don't know. I'll tell you the story.
102.
She was hospitalized again after collapsing. Hospitalized after collapsing again at porn convention.
So she's already done this once.
She's collapsed at a different porn convention
plenty
before.
Of times, yeah. Let's see. She was. Let me turn this a little bit. She was taken to nearby hospital. This is her third episode in many days. China was appearing in the 2012 Erotica Expo to help promote vivid entertainment porn parody of the Avengers. She plays She-Hulk. Yes,
She-Hulk.
Who wants to see China in porn anymore? I didn't want to see her when she had that video that leaked.
Well, she's been doing it for a while.
Ew.
Apparently, tells a rep for Vivid tells the company that she's worried about her after yesterday's medical scare. China insisted she was okay. Basically, she passed out in the lobby and took into some place in Miami.
Does it say any cause or anything?
No, but it's funny. But in addition to passing out yesterday at the convention, she was kicked out of a party on Thursday night after her unruly behavior, which included passing out in a pool.
She's passing out all over the place.
I really wish I could have got these to Jimmy. I'm sorry I wasn't here on time, but these are some pictures of her in the pool with some other chicks and they're naked.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, you guys remember that stuff about the whole bounty thing going on with the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this NFL legend, Joe Theismann, there's a bounty on his head, and he was stopped in the airport, and he talked to, I guess it was TMZ for a little bit. Basically, he led the Skins to Super Bowl back in 1983, and he thought his opponents, he asked if he thought his opponents ever tried to take him out of a game for a shot or an illegal cash bonus. He replied, absolutely. To be honest with you, if you didn't have a bounty on your head when you played, it means you weren't worth anything. So this has been going on forever. These guys totally know, what's going on. I mean, if you don't have a bounty, if people aren't trying to take you out of a game, then you're not doing your job.
So
right.
obviously this is something people have known about for a while.
Forever. Since
It's been an inside thing, like, because my buddies that were like these older guys I work with, they were saying back in high school, when they were in high school, a long time ago, that happened then. You didn't get paid or anything.
So
you get like stars in your helmet.
you
and
get
stuff.
bonus.
So all those people that came out and said that's how football go, like Ron Washington would say, that's really how football goes.
And it sounds messed up because we're just now hearing about it, but it's been going on forever. So I don't know what to say about it.
So are you telling me steroids have been in baseball since the beginning?
I didn't say that.
One thing that I don't think that people really caught on to this when it was coming out as a story is that it really has been something that is kind of integrated into the sport. Like when we would go into our last practice during to lead up to Friday night, our coach would tell us which players we need to really point out. Like that running back is going to ruin your Friday night if you don't take him out.
Right.
So that was the point.
Take out his knees. That's what I was always
You
told.
didn't get paid in high school, but my buddy said you got special recognition from the coach. That was all it took. Just getting a pat on the helmet from the coach was good enough,
And there's parties that weekend that you get a lot of attention for.
Sure.
That one hit. Oh, dude, way to go.
Yeah.
So
I think it was more than that, especially if we're talking about high school.
yeah.
Well, that's. I got some other stories here. Brooke Hogan joins pro wrestling.
That's what's his name?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's
his daughter.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's daughter.
Oh, I thought that was him now.
Mr. Nanny. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I do.
What a horrible
Anyway,
movie.
she looks scary. She didn't even look hot. She's just like
She looks
like a
She
man.
just looks like him dressed like a woman.
She looking
pretty
like a
much.
man.
I'm
Looking like
surprised
a
she
man.
doesn't have a weird colored beard.
New York Giants got their rings, and man, it's gaudy.
That's a big ring.
Yeah, you seen a picture of that? That thing's.
I can only imagine how big that that fist is. That ring is about, a third or 2/3 the size of the hand.
Anyways, there's a lot of other stories, but those are the best ones I think of so far this week. But that's City Sports
City Sports
with Austin.
All right, we're going to move into our plugs and shout-outs before we take our first break. We have a lot of stuff to talk about in the second segment, the camping trip. But before we do that, let's go down the line and do our plugs and shout-outs for this week. Joey, you have a huge plug that you want to do for this week.
Oh, right. You guys, we drove all the way down to CanCon, like 6 hours away. How awesome would it have been not to be the one driving?
That's ConCan.
ConCan?
Or CanCon.
Con
What'd I say?
Can.
ConCan.
What'd I call it?
You said CanCon.
CanCon?
That's like close to Cancun, but
Hey, originally I thought it was Cancun, Texas, and I'm like, this place sounds awesome.
you want to buy a
Well,
vowel?
anyway, I was riding in the car in the Jeep while Austin was driving, and I was just thinking to myself, how great is it to have someone drive you? Anyway, so they got me thinking about limousines and stuff like that. If you guys need a limousine, my buddy Bernard over at Lavish Limos.
Lavish limos.
Lavish Limos.
So
yeah.
it wasn't Lux limos.
He didn't listen to the last one. He might listen to this one.
It's lavish limos.
Lavish limos. You can. He's all over the DFW area for big parties or small intimate groups. He's good for all that.
Yeah, and they have all sorts of stuff, right? They have like those Hummers. And
They've
like
got he's got a bunch of limousines to pick from.
Does he have anything like a pool in the back? That would be
a
cool.
hot tub. That'd be awesome.
I don't know, but if we send him some business, I bet he could get us one.
I'm sure. What's his name again?
His name is Bernard. His number, if you want to reach him in the area, you can reach him at Metro 214-457-2100 or at lavishlimousines.com.
We should come up with a jingle.
I would
for
love
that.
to ride in a limousine. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Fun,
I haven't been in a limousine in forever.
I did it once. I was like 16 with some girl. I thought,
there's only certain places in your life where you pretty much get away with anything you want. Back of a limousine is one of those places.
Yeah,
true.
party buses.
Yeah, party buses too.
Man.
what happens in the back of his limousine stays
Right.
in the back seat of a limousine.
And
Hey,
with,
on
with
the
everyone
back
else,
seat of a limousine.
Yeah.
You're looking up at the front of the limousine like, hey, roll your window up, dude. Come on.
I'm pretty sure Pug's pulled up in a limo. A rock star over there.
Yeah?
Yeah, he makes way too much money. He gave me that look like, why are you
You
telling
got any
me when I'm
specials
asleep?
going on at the Ashley Furniture Store this week?
Of course we do, man. It's we're going into Labor Day or Memorial Day? I get these mixed up.
It's Memorial Day.
Memorial Day?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyway, we're
it's
going
fun.
into Memorial Day.
Because you can't wait. You
Like,
can't wear white after Labor Day. That's how I
Oh,
remember
right,
it.
right.
So that's in September or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
anyway, well, yeah, we're having a lot of pre-sales up to Memorial Day,
Memorial Day.
and then we're gonna have a sale for Memorial Day. But if you hit me beforehand, I guarantee I can make you a better deal because that's just the way the business works.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Austin.
wearing a Honda shirt. If you want one, come see me. I'm at David McDavid Honda. It's in Irving, right just south of the Irving Mall and off Beltline Road. We have amazing sales going on right now. Probably the best sales I've ever seen on Cords and Civics. So if you want something, man, come see me. I'll hook you up. Austin Brooks, David McDavid Honda.
Right on. Well, I'm going to be at Milo's in Arlington tonight, spinning the music videos for you guys. And my shout out this week, I'm shouting out to Gina for planning an awesome camping trip. We went to Concan, Texas. We floated the Frio River.
I thought that was the second part. I thought we.
I was gonna.
Well, we're not talking about the actual camping trip. This is part of my shout out.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving a
Fair
shout
enough,
out to
whatever.
Gina for planning it all, getting all
Gina
the food.
did do a great job.
And we'll talk about some of the great things about having women around on a
God,
camping
it was
trip.
awesome.
So we're going to take a little break here.
I'll
Jimmy,
talk
if you would
about
get
that.
us going there. We'll come back. We'll talk about the camping trip, and all your favorite segments will be back here in the second and third segment. We'll be right back. It is thebarlive.com. You're hanging out with the boys. I'm Patrick.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joey.
And this is the YNR Radio Show. Stay close, folks.
Lollipop, lollipop, breast is just like Dolly Parton. She ride my spaceship till she hit the top. That hit the spot till she asks how many licks do it take till she get the shot. Don't worry why my wrist got so free. Tell a girl like Doritos, that's nacho cheese. Tell her friends like Fritos, I'm trying to late. I can only have one and I ain't trying to wait. It's a song with rains and you know it's gon' melt, but you ain't finna murder me like everybody else. I'ma rap like I got some type respect for myself. I don't do it for my health, man. I do it for the belt, man. I do it to the depth, till the roof get melt. Honey, the please drop the roof so the coop don't melt. Man, the flow so cold, chicken soup won't help. We need 4 more hoes, we need you know what it is when we out of town. We ballin' 2 C's and you out of bounds. So come here, baby girl. You're now fucking with the best in the world. Lollipop, the best in the Shawty say she wanna lick the right bad, and she wanna lick the right bone. And I just wanna act like a porno flicking actor. I don't need to be connect, she caught up in that rapture. I got so much chips, I swear they call me Hugh Left-Hacker. I got so much shit, you can have a bag if you're a snacker. Greedy mother fudge cake, now tell me how that fudge tastes. I do it for blood's sake, so we'll make it smooth. How the roof do the disappear. Your girl wants to play those that pay. She's so sophisticated, 'cause the brain is off the chain. And then my diamonds are in the quiet because they sang from off my chain. And I knew she joined the game because all she do is bang. Like Ricky Gordon, Rain and Candy, pick your poison. If that woman wanna cut the tell her I am Mr. Ointment. Tell her make an appointment with Mr. I can't make an appointment. Take my lollipop and enjoy it. She makes it bottles in the club. Shawty wanna know, you know I'm like a touch. Shawty wanna know, shawty wanna know, shawty wanna know. Bottles in the club. Shawty wanna know, you know I'm like a touch. Why would she? She probably be the odd cookie in the plastic bag. About to get crushed by a building. I flushed out the feeling of me doing the shit. 'Cause I was leaving skid marks on everywhere I sit. I go everywhere I'm in. Like I can go in, I can go anywhere. Anywhere, mind and more. I'm in your neighborhood area. See me thing take that. I find the girlfriend and she said I got great sex. Safe sex is great sex. Better wear a latex. 'Cause she don't want that latex that I think I'm latex. So wrap it up. But he's so sweet. She wanted it down. Like a lollipop, lollipop. She lick me like a lollipop, lollipop. She lick me like a lollipop, lollipop. She lick me like a lollipop, lollipop.
It is thebarlive.com. You're hanging out with the boys. I'm Patrick.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joey.
And this is the YNR Radio Show. Thanks again for hanging out with us. You're tuning in the second segment.
Second
It is
segment.
May 23rd, 2012. What were you going to say?
That's my favorite segment.
It's your favorite segment. Look at this nerd. He's watching us live on his
Yeah,
computer.
what kind of narcissist does that?
He's such a nerd.
You're doing it too. You're doing it. Fox is doing it.
No, I was talking about
you.
Austin.
He was talking about me watching it, and I was talking about Joey watching it, and Joey was talking
I
about
am
you
not
watching
I'm
it.
trying to.
He
but-
quickly flipped his tab
Yeah,
so we wouldn't.
That was Alt Tab right there. That's what that was. I saw that.
there I am.
Well, again, guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got Jimmy behind the board. Hello, Jimmy.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hey,
We got
hey.
Pugs over here doing his, his
Pugsy things.
higher up work over here in the crazy cool chairs. Right on. Let's see. This segment, we're going to talk about a little trip we took for the past couple of days down to a town called Concan, Texas.
Concan, Texas.
That's right. We went down. We left Sunday morning, right?
Yeah.
What a brutal morning, man. Honestly, I worked Saturday night.
Yeah.
I got home, and I have these honeydew lists that Gina makes me. Like, I'm not allowed to participate in events if I don't finish the honeydew list.
Like, wait, you can't make yourself a sandwich, or
No, I can make myself a sandwich, but like where our tile meets our carpet, it had been pulled back over so many, years of nobody fixing it. And we didn't have any
carpet
Like-
stretchers, or
not a carpet stretcher, but something you can put over it, and like one of those overlay things.
oh, yeah.
So I went to, Home Depot the other day, and I picked them up, and I hadn't put them down. And I'd been, the girls get mad if you don't do exactly what they say at the time you say. Being in a relationship is kind of different because I like to push the limits. But in the middle of the night when I got home Saturday night, I decided it was probably time to go ahead and take care of that because I couldn't sleep because I never really go to sleep till early in the morning. So I'm surprised she didn't wake up because I had like a hacksaw trying to, like a very dull saw like I found in the garage, and I'm like have the drill out and I'm drilling into the floor and stuff trying to put this stuff down. She was really excited when she saw it though. But anyway, I ended up with like an hour and a half of sleep before I had to wake up and like get on the move, and I was really grumpy that morning. I think I was yelling at everybody.
Oh yeah, he was real pissy.
Right.
yeah, he was.
So anyway, after that we get on the road and we start heading to Concan, Texas, and we got a couple stories from the camping trip. Some are very fun, some are very sad. Some are very sad.
It could have been sadder.
Yeah, that could have been worse.
Austin, why don't you start off and tell us about your personal trip? You guys rode together.
Yeah, yeah.
I rode with Gina,
Yeah.
and then there's some other people that met us out there, and there's another person that followed us. But Austin had an extraordinarily couple events that happened on the way down. So he's gonna fill us in on what happened on that.
It was intense, man. It was crazy. The whole drive down there, I mean, just from the get-go, starting out, it was really early, and I don't do good early. Like, I mean, especially on a Sunday morning, it's like my day to just go out and have fun and do whatever. Like, I'm just going to go drive for 6 hours. So we get up, we go to meet wherever we're supposed to meet her, like, right at the time. I mean, we're like 10 minutes later when we're supposed to be there, and you guys show up about 30 minutes after that.
Typical.
The typical.
There was yelling involved.
Yeah, so you guys. So, anyways, we finally leave out of there, and then we have to go to the gas station. Then we have to go to McDonald's, and we're making like 5 stops before we even get on the road. And then we get on the road, and then maybe about 100 miles in, I get pulled over. And I'm like, what the heck? So he pulls me over, and then he is basically for not having a front license plate.
He just wanted to check out your Jeep.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
It ended up being that.
But let me ask you a question. You still have the paper plate on the back.
No, I got the real one.
Oh, you have the real
But
one. Okay.
I got the one that goes on the front too. There's just not a place for it, so I haven't even
because
fucked with
you
it.
have the what's it called, the what's on the front of your Jeep?
It's got that big cattle guard grill.
Okay,
with,
so it's hard
the-
to put
the
a-
winch and everything on there. So yeah, there's no room. You have to drill into iron. It's like, yeah, I don't have the tools.
That sounds like
for
an
that.
easy job.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just haven't messed with it. So he pulls me over for that, and then I didn't have my insurance card. Like I have an email with it, and I was like, hey, I can show you my phone, and and he ran my plate, and so he could tell I had insurance on the car. So he let me go with
Thank
a warning.
God they're allowed to do that now.
I
Because
know, I love
yeah.
it.
before that they'd be like, well, we're just going to tow you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, we'll just give you a ticket, and you have to mess with it later.
Right.
It's like. Ugh. So he gave me a warning for the front license plate and gave me a warning for the insurance thing and let me go. And then while he was like trying to let us go, we're just can't wait to get back on the road because we're already, 15, 20, 30 minutes behind you guys. So then he starts talking to us. He's like, oh, you're like your Jeep, man. You did a lot of stuff to it. And I was like,
There, that is such an awkward moment when you
I
get pulled
know.
over the police. You show respect for someone. You're like, this guy's either going to give me a ticket or he's not. And then all of a sudden he's like,
But he doesn't.
I dig your Jeep, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Jeep for a little bit. Like,
It's like
was-
he deserves that
especially
conversation.
especially if you're speeding and you get pulled over for speeding. Obviously, I was in a hurry to get somewhere. Why would I want to hold a small conversation with you after you pulled me over?
I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
we're on our way to vacation, but let's stop and talk to the cops for a while, just for the fun of it.
Maybe that was a test. Maybe that he was testing to see if you actually would, or you would turn and be jerks about it or something.
He was like, license plate and.
So-
Yeah.
and then
so
you had your check engine light come
so
on too,
then,
right?
after that, and then about 100 miles in, my check engine light comes on, and this is right after. I mean, we got gas, and I did an oil change like the day before. So I'm like, I'm tip top. I mean, I don't know what could be going on. So it really pissed me off that came on. So now I'm driving like an extra 600 miles or something with the check engine light on. And like, it's just, I don't know.
One thing I liked is you drove. I don't know how many miles that was. It was probably about
366.
Okay, 366 miles with no top on the Jeep,
No.
and the sun is out shining bright,
off, yeah.
and you have a nice frail ginger sitting beside you that was
Yeah.
just soaking up the
I
sun.
don't know if the camera can pick up the angle of his
I got
face,
an awesome
but
tan line, like right. I wore my hat the entire way with like,
Backwards.
sunglasses. Some all raccoon-eyed with like this line across the middle of my forehead with the worst burn. That's the worst part. The only time I really burned was the trip on the way up there when we didn't
the
think to put sunblock on.
I put sunblock on.
Well, thanks for sharing that with me. I didn't think about it.
I bet Joey will put sunblock on for any situation from now on.
Yeah,
to
he
avoid.
didn't even want to drive in the Jeep. He wanted to take his own car today. He never wants to take his car.
Okay, okay, I'm writing this down. We're never taking the Chevy Lumina on a vacation.
Come
99.
on, the Arrestmobile's perfectly suitable for traveling.
Honestly, if you guys got pulled over in that car opposed to the awesome Jeep, you probably would have gone to jail for something or another.
Well, one of us would have.
Anyway.
So that was intense. So we finally got out there, met you guys at Dairy Queen, and then anyways.
Yeah, why did Gina make us take that long ass way out there?
It's-
I looked at Google and Superphone was telling me like go all the way, just take 35 straight there,
kept
and we're
trying
like
to
taking
reroute us the whole way.
67, and I was like,
Okay,
it's just to look at the hills.
This goes into the explanation of the pros and cons about taking women
Right.
on a camping trip. Okay,
Yeah.
on our way down,
So yeah, let's start with your
I
story.
tried to be hands off on this as much as possible because usually
It's a good idea.
when I take the boys on the camping trip, they don't have to worry about anything. I take care of everything. I make it simple. We go. We have a good time. We come home. Right. So I let Gina. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be hands off on this because she doesn't like me digging my hands in every thing she's trying to do. I said I'm going to be hands off. So on the way down here, literally about 5 minutes before the turnoff for 281, she's like, hey, why don't you look at these directions and see where we're at? And I look at them like, are you seriously taking us like 40 miles west, and then we have to go on some country road where we have to slow down to 35 miles an hour in every small town and every stop sign?
My engine
and
did not like that. Going from
exactly.
fast to slow to fast to slow.
She's like, I wanted to take the scenic route. I'm like, well, there's not hills till we hit Austin, right? So
Yeah.
you have to explain that. And then by the time I got her to change her mind, we were,
so far.
her
deep into
friend
the-
had got in front of us and took the lead. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let this settle, for what it is.
We didn't know. I didn't know going in that there was another option. I kept looking at my phone, being like, "What's wrong with this stupid
we're
GPS?"
going the wrong way. Like,
Right.
I was like, "This says we're."
She wanted to take the scenic route.
man, we should.
So basically, we drove to Stephenville and drove south.
well, if we had met you there, we would have beat you by like 2 hours. Though.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm not saying that's a negative thing about
just,
bringing women on a camping trip. They like to do things.
They think about things we wouldn't think about. I'm
Exactly.
not interested. I'm interested in getting there, then
Right.
having
I
fun.
wanna see
She
the
wants
river. I
whole
don't wanna
trip
see-
to be something to look at.
I will tell you one great thing about bringing women on a trip is usually, and I told the story a couple times when we were down there. I've been on a trip before, and I asked my buddy, I'm like, hey, do I need to bring anything? Bring some chips, sodas, beer, whatever we're going to be doing down there. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. I got it. So I go down there. I'm like, man, I am starving. He's like, well, we got this 3-liter thing of hot water, some hot beer, and hot dog wieners. No buns, no condiments, no nothing. So nothing to actually cook them with. We were just holding them with our fingers over the fire, hoping that they would, become warm where we'd be able to eat the hot dogs without, gagging.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the girls brought all that stuff.
Right. So we had a feast among feast. for
Every
a
meal
camping
was
trip.
like was gourmet. It was great. I mean,
Yeah.
and I didn't have to do anything.
yeah.
The first night,
I offered. They were just
the
they
first
had it.
night is obviously easy, hot dogs and hamburgers, which is fine. But like all the fixings that guys wouldn't think about were
Yeah,
there.
We had a
Yeah, I
bowl
would
for
not have had
everything.
lettuce.
Tomatoes, lettuce,
Or
onions.
no, I would have had the
pickles,
food. I
jalapenos.
wouldn't have thought to bring those things you need to cook with, like Like they had like the utensils you
The
actually need to make
tongs and
meals
the-
possible. I would not have. These are things I would have left behind. I wouldn't have had a pot to cook in. You know, just the soup to make.
Well, no, the cabin had some of that stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, for breakfast, we had the tastiest breakfast tacos I have ever had.
Oh, those taquitos were awesome.
Like sour cream, cheese, sausage, just whatever you wanted, it was there. Hot sauce. I mean,
Yeah,
who thinks about all this stuff? The only bad, and then that night we had regular tacos, which we kind of used some of the stuff from breakfast. and
double
did that.
deckers. Yeah.
But the bad thing about girls taking charge of this is there was so much food left over, and everybody's like, "I'm not taking that.
There
I'm
was
not taking that."
ton of food. I don't know what I don't know what they thought we were gonna do the whole time. It was just
Yeah,
we're just gonna
just sit
hang
there
out
and
and eat the entire trip.
You know, they went to Sam's Club to buy in bulk because it would be cheaper. I think
spent-
they should have just gone to the regular grocery store because I don't know why I need 2 gallons of sour cream in my refrigerator. We have a whole watermelon that barely anyone, took a bite out of.
We ended up with hot dogs and no hot dog
No,
buns.
we-
We had hot dogs and hamburger buns.
We took the watermelon down to the river that second day.
Did y'all eat it?
We ate about half of it.
Okay, that's good. Well, at least I know it's not all going to waste here.
Yeah.
Well, so that's some of the pros and cons of bringing a girl on the trip. But there was something that happened. We woke up the next morning after we got there. We partied all night. We woke up. We went to float, and it was about a 6-hour float. And
that was intense too.
it was intense. You know,
It was the biggest team building exercise I've ever done.
Seriously.
Because someone had the great idea. Let's hook all the tubes together. So we're having 10 people.
There's 11, but there's 11
No,
tubes because
there's 14. There's
yeah.
14 tubes with the cooler, the radios, everything. We had 14. So 14 tubes all tied together, trying to float down a river that's barely wide enough for 14 tubes.
Oh my God, we're trying to go underneath. We're trying to go under this bridge at one point, and it's like one of those overpass bridges where there's like 4 little slots through. Well, it's not built to fit 14 tubes of people at one time. It was like a Three Stooges thing. It was really really hilarious to watch. So I kind of let us in there. We were all trying to pick a route, and I mean, I pulled us in there. Then like we get lodged, obviously. So I get out and I walk all the way around to the other side. Then I fight the river, the current, and come back in. I'm like, you guys get out, flip these tubes over, and all this stuff. It's just
there's one thing that always gets me. Like, I've been tubing since I was, a kid. My grandparents used to live down there. We tubed all the time. There's certain river etiquette involved on the river.
is there.
There is, to a certain degree. It's timed for a reason. But if every 5 seconds you want to anchor down, we got to stop for something or another, it's going to end up being a 9-hour float, even though it was intended for 6 hours. So the funny thing to me is there was one point where
Was
we
it
had,
funny or did you get it?
I was
it really funny?
it was
You didn't
funny.
see- you weren't laughing.
No, I wasn't laughing that hard. But we had anchored down in the middle of these rapids, and I'm literally holding onto my tube and the rope with all the rest of the 14 tubes in the rapids, and I was told to hold on while somebody got out of their tube and went through the rapids to try to get a beer out of the cooler. The rapids is not necessarily a place you want to stop.
Oh, is that why
Why-
you got mad? I didn't even know why.
And I did not have shoes on, so I'm sitting there slipping on the algae on the bottom of the river, trying to hold on.
Everyone told you to wear shoes.
At that point, I have the tube up in the air, like wrapped around my arm, holding 14 tubes in the middle of the rapids. Hold on, I gotta get a beer. I'm less concerned about you getting a beer right now and more concerned about my safety.
That's awesome.
That's when Patrick defected. He cut himself loose
Yeah,
with his
he
one
did.
beer and floated on down the river.
I had to cool off. There was a cool off period that was necessary at the time.
He gets those a lot. I don't know if you noticed that. He
I
has to
know.
cool off. a
I
lot.
have to cool off.
He wants to cool off in the morning.
I'm very non-confrontational. I just have to cool off. I'm not going to say anything that's necessarily mean. I'm not going to call names. I'm going to cool off and I'm going to come back and I'm going to say, hey, what's going on? I'm great now. But there was when I went ahead and I stopped because there was this huge waterfall and there was 2 parts to it.
That was fun,
There
too.
was a huge rock in the center, and if you went off one end, you were going to be okay. The other end, you went off, and then there was another huge rock that you would have just hit in the middle of the waterfall and probably killed someone. So I make sure to wait around the corner, and as soon as I saw Jacob, I kind of pointed. I'm like, hey, you need to go this side. He's like, everybody move to the side. And luckily, nobody was severely hurt. There was almost a rattlesnake incident. There was almost a rattlesnake incident.
Yeah, I was chilling on the
I've never seen
branch or
women run
something.
so fast in my life.
I haven't either. That was through water. That was just like, that was treading.
It looked like one of those chameleons running across the water. It was really funny.
Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to you guys. When we got back from the camping trip,
Okay.
something huge happened, which is not happy at all.
So yeah, I got in there and I was the first one back. I don't know how I ended up with the key to the cabin, but I ended up with the key to the cabin, the only key we had. So I'm walking back up there and I get inside. I unlock the door. Like I had to unlock the bolt lock. So everything's all good to me, you know. I walk in, the lights are all on, the doors are all open, but still nothing's really clicking because, you know, the door was locked. So I go take a shower, and when I get out of the shower, all hell has broken loose. All I hear is, "We got robbed! Somebody call the police! They've been in our apartment!" All this shit's going down, and I mean, like we're having to track all these steps, and I can't remember. They're like, "Was the door unlocked when you got there?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm nervous now. You guys there's a policeman here." I'm just
I did the same thing. I mean, when I came in, I guess Joey and I, like, we were just disgusting. I mean, so we really just want to shower. I mean, we fell in the river so many times. So I guess he and I just bumped in the shower first, just take a quick rinse off. And then while I was in there, like, someone comes in. I'm like, they're like, "Who's in here?" And I was like, "It's me." They're like, "We just got robbed." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, they took a bunch of stuff." So I'm like, "Oh, whatever." So I just hurry up, rinse off, get out, and I go check everything out, man, and everything got jacked. There's like, what, 5 iPhones?
5 iPhones.
5 iPhones, over $600 or $500 something in cash, I think.
Right.
A credit card.
A debit card that was ran up about $500 extra in cash.
Yeah, that much. $500. A wedding ring that was worth
$4,000.
about $4,000.
Someone's wedding ring. Like, there's a certain
That's
level.
messed
Like,
up.
if you, first of all, there's such things as smart. I don't know if there's such things as smart criminals. I don't know if that actually applies.
I saw
to
Ocean's
anywhere.
11. I think there are.
Okay. But there's really dumb criminals. If you really want to smash and grab, take cash, take visible objects that you can have some sort of resale value, I can understand that. But when you take a debit card out of nowhere, and she said it was wrapped in the cash, so it was obviously an accident. But when you go out and spend it, that just seems like you want to get caught.
Yeah.
Well,
To
they were
me.
like, these kids, I mean, who we think did it were very, very young. I don't think they were, you know.
barely 21.
Who knows?
I don't think they
We're
were
not- we're not-
experienced at this.
Yeah,
yet.
we're not saying anybody that we know did it or anything.
No, I mean,
I am, and in fact, you know what? I got that right here. We're about to do something. We're about to.
I'll introduce him.
Okay.
We were but to kind of preface this, the night before when we got there, we got there in the afternoon and we just start tying it on. We've been drinking and we just start drinking. We had
That's what you do when you
Oh,
go
the
camping.
gummies. You guys remember the
hundreds
gummies?
of beers and we had all these with bottles of liquor and there's
Thousands
these
of
girls brought these gummies. These
gummies
these
were the best.
this giant like Ziploc bag of like different like
Gummy
lifesavers,
worms,
like gummy lifesavers, and gummy
Lifesavers,
worms, and
bears,
gummy bears
the
and
disc
stuff.
or whatever. Yeah,
and they've soaked them in vodka for a few days. So these are just
the sugar just
disgusting.
soaked up
They're
the vodka.
awesome.
They're huge. Instead of a worm being normally like a worm size, I mean it's like huge, like the size of
Yeah.
your finger, and like it was crazy.
So we're just smashed. Anyway, well, after a little, like we ate dinner and we're drinking and carrying on, having a good time. And then one of our neighbor comes over and he's like, "Hey neighbors, just wanted to say hi, blah blah blah." And I mean,
No, not suspicious at all
he
at
didn't
that
seem.
time.
I mean, I didn't want him coming over because
his name is Marcus.
I wasn't interested.
His
you know?
name's Marcus. Yep.
Yeah. So
You're
Marcus
just gonna go
comes
straight
over.
into it, aren't you?
So Marcus comes over, and after a little bit of drunken babbling, he invites a couple of his friends over, and they all stay. And for the evening, it's all fine. You know what I mean? Nothing triggered to me. They weren't being inappropriate. They were pretty nervous. They kind of sat quietly the whole time, you know, drinking, and we had a good time. I mean, it wasn't anything I would think anything about, but. The next morning, we wake up and Marcus comes trotting over there. He's like, "Hey man, let's throw the football around." He's throwing the football around, and this is what really got me was that he, after he throws the football, while they're throwing the football around, breakfast gets finished, and we all go in to eat. He just kind of comes in and like makes himself a plate, and we're just like. I mean, I remember the girls the night
Yeah,
before had
they
drunkenly
invited
been
him,
like,
but-
been like, "Hey, I'm making tacos in the morning. You can have to talk." No, but it was drunken. You know, those were drunken promises. We're not, expected to
So
carry
you're
through
saying
on
drunken
drugs.
premises? No way in reality.
No.
Well, people
no.
make drunken
Matter.
promises all the time.
I promise to do stuff all the time while I'm drunk that I
Like,
don't intend on
hey,
following through with.
we haven't seen each other in 20 years. Maybe we should hang out more often.
Yeah,
like
let's
one of
do-
those.
Yeah, no, it's that you guys are. It's 2 a.m. You're already drunk, and you guys.
Next
you know what we
weekend
need to
we're
do,
totally-
guys? Tomorrow morning, let's get up and jog. 6 a.m. You and I, we're getting up. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna get up and go jogging. Those things don't count. Those drunken boasts
Hey,
don't count.
I
you
have
know?
to say that this one sitting next to me, Mr. Austin, it does count. Like,
I
hey, we're getting
know.
up at the crack of dawn. We're going to play golf. I don't care if you've had 30 minutes of sleep. I'm calling and waking you up, or I'm going to come over and slap you in the face.
'Cause
It
you're so-
happens. I'm telling you.
You're so lazy though, man. Like
You just give in too easy. He knocks on my door. I tell him to piss off.
I am kind of a pushover.
I think he's dealt with me enough.
Unless
that
I
he doesn't try
have,
anymore.
unless I have released the cord from my tube and I'm floating on. You know when that
So,
happens.
Yeah.
so, Marcus, who goes to UTSA, we're starting something. It's going to be a
We're starting
a
something
campaign,
again, huh?
A campaign. Let's say a crusade, even if you will.
A crusade.
It's Find Marcus. He's an African American gentleman. Apparently, there's a lot of those at UTSA. I've tried to look him up.
Hey, Marcus.
Named Marcus. He's about 21.
Loves the Redskins.
New York Knicks.
Oh
hat.
yeah, he loves the
He's wearing a
Redskins.
New
I
York
forgot
Knicks
we
hat.
talked about sports.
Loves New York Knicks.
There's the New York Knicks. Loves the Redskins. Apparently, is from Houston originally and goes to UTSA.
You'll recognize him now because he has a whole lot of phones.
He has about 5 iPhones with him, about $600 in cash, debit card that's probably canceled by now. My iPhone portable radio that costs about $200, and a wedding ring that's definitely not his. So if you know Marcus,
If he proposes to anybody,
Yeah.
if you want to help with the campaign, please give us a call. Look up us on YNR Radio. We'll actually have a bunch of stuff posted on there about it, and I'm gonna go forward with this.
We're resorting to vigilante justice because basically the police that we talked to, the sheriff out there was like, well, you guys can turn your trackers on your phones and all this, but like, I mean, we're 7 hours away from where we live, and we're filing a report with this guy that he couldn't give us. He's like, well, we'll mail it to you or fax it or whatever. He's like, unless you can track the phone and say, hey, it's definitely in this guy's house right now, and then you're in San Antonio where these people live, and you can give the police officers the police report that says it was stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, then they have reason to go knock on that guy's door. That doesn't mean anything though, because all they're doing is knocking on the guy's door. Hey, did you steal this
say
phone?
no, yeah.
You know, nope, didn't do it. You know, what are they gonna do?
You know what's funny to me is over the years, all these forensic TV shows have been on the air.
You should have heard everybody. Everybody was sure they could just CSI this and figure it out.
Well, it's funny because Gina came to me and she's like, "Why didn't they fingerprint? Can we get DNA evidence?" I'm like, "It wasn't a crime scene. They just got robbed. No one died."
The
Yeah.
cabin's too dirty, and there's been thousands of people staying there.
Even
so,
if they were going to, they wouldn't spend that kind of money on they were like, we found a watermelon rind. I bet there's DNA in it. I'm like, they're not running DNA tests to find your iPhone.
And I gotta say, the odds of this 21-year-old kid that going to UTSA, I
Being
bet he's
CODIS.
on a file. Yeah, I'm like, why would they have his fingerprint on
I
file?
mean, unless he's a sex offender, and then we get lucky.
Who knows?
So, anyways, if you know who Marcus is, please help us find him. And the trip was fun, though. All in all,
We had a great time.
wanna
And
go
we're
back
going to
next
go
year.
back. The place we went, it was in Concan, Texas, called Andy's.
Yeah.
Andy was awesome.
Andy- was
Andy
cool.
and his wife that run the joint, and they are so nice. Guys, if you get a chance, you want to go float down a river. Sometimes, the Guadalupe is dirty. The Comal, they have so many rules. The Frio River in Concan, Texas is awesome. It's really fun.
Completely lawless.
We stayed in this awesome cabin. So, guys, check that out. Go look up Andy's in Concan, Texas. We're going to take a break here. We're going to come back, and we're going to come back to some of our favorite segments that we love to do, including Craigslist ads,
All right.
Insider's Input,
Okay. Yes.
Late Night Insight,
That's a news one.
and Joey's got this huge rant he's going to do. So
It's
we're
going
going
to be great.
we're going to talk about it here at the top of the hour. You guys stick around. This is the YNR Radio Show broadcasting at thebarlive.com. Stick around. We'll be right back. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. This is thebarlive.com. You're hanging out with the boys. This is the YNR Radio Show. This is the third segment.
Third segment.
I lost my grip there for a second.
Sorry, at least you didn't forget your name.
May 23rd, 2012. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Hey, I want to throw out these things real quick. If you want to email us on the show, it's ynrradio@gmail.com. We do have a website. It's ynr.tumblr.com. Or you can check us out where we do most of our stuff. It's facebook.com/YNRradio. We post all our pictures, do most of our stuff from the Facebook. But if you want to contact us, those are some ways you can contact us.
Don't we have a Twitter, too?
We have a Twitter, too. I guess it's twitter.com/YNRradio.
Do you guys tweet?
I like to twit.
Well, here's the thing. The greatest thing about Twitter is it's linked to Facebook. So anything you post on Facebook, it's posted on Twitter. So
then I tweet.
So they're making money off Facebook.
Oh, neat.
Really?
That's pretty.
I want to make money off Facebook.
There's a lot of people that go ahead and just do stuff on Twitter.
Man, ever since Facebook went public, though, I mean, you know how much they're shocked. Like, we were talking about that with what's his guy that sold out his shares? The guy who initially invested it, the guy that used to be not Paul McCartney. Who was that guy?
I'm not sure.
Gummit. I can't get any help from you guys. You don't watch the news.
No, I don't watch that show.
The guy that.
Have you ever heard my news? It's like the most ridiculous stuff on the planet.
Man, actually
I wish
read
I was
the
more
news.
prepared for this.
Well, anyway, Facebook did go public, and I think they quoted that they wanted to start it out at $38 a share, and I think it went the first day it went up to $38.20. I'm not sure where it's at now.
Bono. He made $1 billion.
The guy from U2.
Off of what he initially invested. He got out right when they opened up, and he's going to estimatedly make about $1 billion. It's insane.
Wow.
He's almost he's worth 1.9 billion right now, or 1.7 billion, and that's going to make him worth about 2.7.
Like my dad always says, you got to have money to make money.
Right.
It's insane.
What a great way to make money, or a great way to lose money.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows where Facebook's going to be in 5 years?
I think it'll still be up.
You
I
think
it's
it'll still
going to
going strong?
evolve. I think it's going to evolve because everyone. This connects the entire world together.
Yeah.
So why would this go away? And it's going to turn into
Well,
obviously a lot of
MySpace was the
business.
same thing. Look what happened to MySpace.
Yeah, but it couldn't handle the business side of it and the personal side at the same
Okay,
time.
that
This
makes
does
sense.
both.
Huh. All right. I think Google will end up buying Facebook someday. I see that happening.
Merge together and be owned by Fox News.
Something like that, probably. You guys seen those Google glasses?
Google glasses?
Yeah, it's one of those things you see, 1985, and you look, Back to the Future 2, it's 2015, they have all this cool stuff. It's kind of like that, but it's like a look in the future. They're going to have these glasses where basically it's like a computer screen, but you can also look through them. Basically like you're the Terminator, but you're wearing glasses.
Oh, didn't they have a video game like that before that you put it on and covered one of your eyes?
They did. It was like virtual reality crap that didn't take off.
It sucked. It was horrible. Do you see these little lines going around? What is this?
Anyway, that could possibly be the future.
Holograms are the future.
Holograms. It's funny you say that because I don't know, Anchorman 2's coming out sometime, I don't know, maybe next year or something, but there was a picture of Ron Burgundy behind the desk, and the line at the bottom, the news report said, hologram Tupac has been shot. I thought that was just the most hilarious thing ever.
I love Ron Burgundy and his jazz flute.
They're saying 2013 for
2013.
Anchorman,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I just thought that was really funny. Hologram Tupac has been shot. All right, well, let's hit it, guys. We're going to hand it over to Joey. He kind of merges his gross but true and his rants sometimes, and this is kind of gross but true, and it's a rant. So we're going to hand it over to Joey for this.
Yeah, you guys, we go on our little trip and everything, and right when the first thing that happens, like when we're loading up the Jeep and everything with all our stuff, I'm helping with the cooler, and I bust my toe on this curb and chip off just a chunk of my big toenail, and I'm like, it hurts, but it's not enough to complain about, and it's bleeding a little bit, but it's not it's just really annoying, and I had to deal with this chipped, broken ass toenail for the rest of the trip, and like part of the toenail kept catching on things, and I'm going barefoot, and I keep slicing myself with it, and every time I try to put socks on, that's not working for me, and it's just awful, and I start thinking to myself, why in the name of God do I have toenails? We were discussing this on the trip too. I walked outside and they were talking about feet, pretty or ugly or whatever, and we're looking at them, and I'm like, feet are not pretty. I'm like, you girls paint your toenails because they're that ugly. Yeah, I'm like, but what's really concerns me is the toenail. to me, it's only ever been a liability.
Why do we need toenails?
Why
Like,
do you? What,
why
what
can't
is
it
it?
just
what,
be the fingers?
What
like,
has it ever done to you? Have you ever been? Have you? I'm like, have you ever been in a situation where it was like, thank God I have my toenail, or else this could have been bad. Toenails always make things worse. Like, if I'm gonna stub my toe on something, why not just get the bruise on my toe instead of the ripped off toenail with the blood and the? It's awful.
So get this. I was 9 years old. We were going to a family reunion. There's a pool there, and my mom, we didn't know there's a pool, so everyone's going swimming. So we run to the store, go buy swim trunks. We come back. I'm so excited. So I go to the bathroom, getting ready to go change. As soon as I open up the door, someone's coming out at the same time, and it literally rips my entire big toenail off. And I'm like 8 or 9, so I'm just devastated. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. And so I run back to my mom crying, apparently. And I tell her, what's going on, and so then I sit there, and then after a sandwich and a sweet tea, I'm like, I want to go play in the pool still. So
but you can't because you have a ripped off toenail now.
So we wrapped it in a Band-Aid with some cellophane,
Ew.
and I went in the pool.
Gross.
It came off in the pool. I didn't care. Like I was having fun.
For a lot of kids, it's the initial shock of the event that makes them upset.
The idea of losing your toenail is disgusting. It would freak me out.
And it was tender, but after that, it was just like, it had already gone. It's just not there. I don't know. I got over it.
I remember mine was actually out at the river. I went out there, and I'll vividly remember for the rest of my life, most likely. On the way there, I did notice, as I looked down at my foot in the sandals, that my big toe, the nail was a little long. And I could probably go ahead and take that thing down. I remember that. And I remember having that thought. And then we get there. I totally forget about it. Well, 2 days later, I'm getting out of the river. And we're going up towards the campgrounds. And I stub it right against a rock. And it is the most painful thing I've ever stepped down on. Every single time I put pressure on it, it hurts. But it looks like it's going to stay intact. So I'm pretty happy about that. And the next day, it's really purple. We're heading back. Well, for 3 weeks, I am tiptoeing on it. Just hopefully I'm not going to lose it. One time in the shower, it just pops off.
Oh, gross.
Just completely pops off. And for the next 6 months, I watched as a little nail started trying to grow up. And I did nothing but read horror stories about nails that will grow into your toe.
They will.
Oh, it was the worst. The entire time I'm freaking out, looking down. Is that the same thing that's happening to me? No, it looks okay, but I don't know.
You should have taken a picture a day and done that little picture a day thing and just slowly watch it in time lapse photography. Watch the toe grow.
I did though. That the entire time I was cursing the nails all together.
They're
What are you
awful.
doing?
What do they do for you ever?
Yeah.
Have you ever I've never been on a ledge and I'm about to fall off and I'm like, oh my god, and no toenails grab on. No, they would break off and cause you more all that more pain than just falling. I'm like, I was evolutionarily at one point did we have talons that grew out that give us extra grip so we could run or dig with our feet? What were we ever doing with toenails? Fingernails make sense. You scratch and you need them for other little things, but toenails.
Yeah, we're talking even scratching your legs. You can use that with the back of your foot,
No. Have you ever tried to scratch your leg with your toenail and then slipped with it? And those things are razor sharp.
That's what I was gonna say. I have a bunch of mosquito bites from the trip, and driving in the car, it's hard to reach down, and scratch when it's on your foot. So I'll take my toenail and rub, and all of a sudden you'll just get it a little bit too much, and you're just
just tear it open.
Brutal.
It's probably not a good idea.
And your toenails are just. Have you ever looked at your toenails? Two of mine are all yellowed and gnarled all the time. So I don't know what they've got in them. I don't want whatever's inside my toenails
That's
in
gross,
my
but
skin.
true within
That
itself.
is disgusting. like your toenails got all that crap underneath them, and I don't know. I'm just saying they're just useless.
I don't like toenails either.
Maybe the next evolution of the humans, they'll have no toenails.
Maybe we're growing into them. Maybe we didn't start with toenails, and that's a new thing.
Well, the rest of my hands survived fine without a little thin candy shell or thin covered shell. Why did it need to be on the tip?
My baby toe barely has a toenail
it's
on it.
like an eighth of an inch.
It's nothing. It protects from nothing.
All right.
But God help me if I stub it. I'm in hell.
So you experienced that at the beginning of the trip.
Yeah, and I had to keep cleaning crap out of it the whole time. Then I ended up just ripping off the other part because it kept catching on everything.
And then it was sensitive.
Yeah, then it's all tender and stuff, and it's not doing anything to cause any real pain. Just annoying.
Do you trim your fingernails more than you trim your toenails?
Oh, yeah, of course.
The worst part about having long toenails for me is the river. I guess the river would be the worst thing because I like to go barefoot in the river. I'm going to be honest. But have you ever stretched out in your bed with a long toenail and caught it on a sheet?
Oh, yes.
It's one of the worst things Or
What a terrible way to wake up.
Stupid toenails.
I've tried to. I'm not saying I'm an advocate for this, but cuddling, like if I'm cuddling with Gina, I'll put my leg up. It should be like, don't you get them toenails close to me?
Yeah, right. They're not good for anybody. Nobody likes them.
I'm surprised she's still with me for my toenail.
Yeah, you're pretty gross.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, that's a lot about toenails.
That's what I had. I mean, you guys haven't ever thought about it. They're really incredibly useless.
All right.
I'm just telling you. I'm just putting it out there. I never heard anybody say it before.
If you ever want to wake up and really damn a body part of your own, I suggest you start with the fingered toenails.
My question is when I'm going back to toenails.
Get back on it. Let's do this. Toenails are important.
Okay.
Apparently. I don't know what they're doing.
When caveman had toenails, or before the toenail clipper was invented,
Oh, no.
what
You
exactly
tear
did
'em
they
off.
do?
No, all they did was just grew them until they stubbed one off.
They wore
and
shoes?
it regrew. That was like the whole thing.
Is that a fact, or did you just make that up?
That could be true. I feel like
Do you think they bit them off with their? I don't know. I was thinking about that.
I
The
mean,
other
maybe
day,
that's what
and
they
like-
had cave women for. They just filed them off with a rock.
I'm like, these things are such a nuisance.
If they make clothes, why can they make shoes?
well, they did.
had-
Cave people didn't make shoes.
They had leather.
They didn't have leather. They had like.
For sure they did.
I don't think they did. I think
Buffalo.
of Indians.
Buffalo.
I think of Indians.
Well, there's got to be some blend between the Indians. I mean, obviously, if the Indians could do it, why couldn't the caveman do
I
that?
was thinking they were taking a rock and just
That's what I was thinking too. Filing it
would
down.
be probably the easiest thing to do. I guess you could say.
Oh,
oh no.
I don't know.
I think we're overthinking this.
They're like,
I don't
hey,
think we
hey,
are.
go
I
to
think
go,
people have underthought this.
go to your next door neighbor. Hey, buddy, got something for you. Can you help me out? take
I
take a bite of that.
like on Dumb and Dumber when he gets the thing, he's like, zzz, and his nails are like, his toenails are like that long.
Sparks are flying off and everything.
All right. Well, enough about toenails.
Something
right?
to think about.
Yeah.
Enough
think
about
ab-
toenails.
think
If
about-
anybody can prove can scientifically or medically or otherwise explain to me why we have toenails, I'd love to hear it. So just post that on our webpage or
Yeah,
whatever.
Facebook.com/YNR
That'd be interesting
Radio.
for us, but I don't see a reason for it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Enough about toenails.
Let's do a little late night insight. Let's find out what's going on around town tonight.
We've been out of town for a long time. We need to see what's
I
happening.
am very
in
out of the loop. I will
Metroplex.
tell you that. So.
I know what Jimmy's doing.
Going to Rusco?
Going to Rusco.
Yes.
Come
I'm
on.
very excited about it.
Do you think he's gonna play pro nails?
You got pro nails.
I hope so.
It's like his biggest hit ever.
Hey, we can talk about nails.
You really you would say that that's his biggest hit?
I don't
No,
know.
definitely not.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not a big dubstepper per se.
Oh no, I'm always
That's a
curious
good
to
one.
find out which ones like people know about and which ones don't.
all I
you know?
really know is from, you know songs that you hear like, oh, I know that song, but you don't necessarily know the name of it. That's like the only one by him I actually know the name of.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I have I could probably pull up a bunch of stuff in here. I'm like, oh yeah, that song, that song. The only one that actually comes to mind that I know the name is Pro Nails.
Yeah.
It was Kid's sister that originally did the song, right?
Yeah.
And I've never heard the original. There's a bunch of
I-
a bunch of dubstep songs
Going
out
back to
there.
toes.
Yeah, I tried.
Going back to toenail talk. Got them toes done up.
But there's a bunch of what is that guy's name? Skrillex. There's a bunch of Skrillex songs. I've never heard the original. I just hear that the remix has become
Yeah.
the norm for these guys in their songs.
Well, because a lot of them are from around here, and they use different types of songs.
I
to
heard
make
Skrillex moved to McAllen.
Oh really?
I heard that he bought a house in McAllen. He's moving down there.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's true. I just heard that's the word on the street per se.
I especially like the fact that they remix like really well-known songs that like older people might be like, oh yeah, look at that, kind of like Skrillex did The Doors,
Right.
and so
That,
like
by the way, is one of the greatest remixes ever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that song.
and like I know that this makes me like a total a-hole like to older people, but it kind of makes me like laugh whenever I think that like a young person would be like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, and their dad would be like, yeah, well that's The Doors, who cares? I got Skrillex's new album.
Yeah.
There's this every once in a while when I'm DJing, like at a smaller joint, I'll play drops. Like I have the little video clips from Dumb and Dumber and Liar Liar, and I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. But I have this drop that I play. It's King of the Hill, Hank Hill, and Bobby's sitting there, and he's got headphones on. You could just hear this music blaring underneath his headphones.
Toilet music.
Exactly.
Absolute toilet music.
Hank Hill in the studio, folks.
I'll tell you what.
So
Perfect, isn't it?
So
Perfect.
So Hank Hill walks in. He's like, "What you listening to there, Bobby?"
Say that.
Toilet music. Absolute toilet music.
He walks in. He wants to listen to his radio.
He's like, "Dad, I don't think you're gonna like it." And he goes, "I'm trying to get used to your young kids' music." And he puts on the earphones, and his eyes just bulge up, and he's like,
Oh, he does. Oh.
exactly. That's how Hank Hill would react to
does it like-
dubstep.
Oh.
Peggy that boy ain't right. I tell you what.
Anyway, that's my take on dubstep. I do actually like some dubstep. It's becoming, I guess you could say, not as underground as it was years ago. You know?
Right.
It's some good beats. It's just fun to listen to. Like, especially when you're working out or you're just doing something. You just want some background music going in. It's awesome.
The thing I
man.
like about it, and I think a thing that it really took off with, is when people are inebriated at the bar, it has elements of, it has that low hip hop beat. I mean, it's fast paced, but when the drops, it has a low hip hop beat. Some parts kind of sound like heavy metal ish.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it kind of appeals to
And half the
everybody
time-
in some aspect.
And half the time there's a girl singing on it. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right.
That's everybody.
It is the funny thing, like the metal aspect of it, because like, you know, metalheads that want to go to concert after concert after concert over the summer, they don't really have out places that they can go to as much as they used to in the 90s. So if you go to like a Skrillex show, you will see metalheads starting a mosh pit.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's as if like they just like got lost
They
on
just
the way to the other
they need a
concert.
place to do it. They just don't have a venue for that anymore. Where can we mosh? We'll just meet in the park at 3:00. Skrillex show. That's it.
All right, well, let's jump into this late night insight. Let's find out what shows we got going on this week. And I think I mentioned this one last week because I went ahead and did Wednesday last week. But one of my favorite bands, the House of Blues, tonight, the Dandy Warhols. The Dandy
right,
Warhols.
yeah,
I
the
love
Warhols.
the Dandy Warhols.
Yeah.
I'm just going to name a couple of these because every time I do this, like, I'm not trying to be like that guy or anything, but my music taste is a little shallow sometimes. So
It is.
some of these bands I don't know. Some of these bands are just small local bands. So I'm going to name a couple off, and if you guys know any of them, you could shout out and go, hey, I know that band. Okay, cool. All right, so tonight at Dada, which, by the way, I will say Club Dada has redone itself since the last time I've been there, and it is really, really cool. If you guys haven't
Where's
been,
that at?
it's in Deep Ellum, Club Dada. It used to be like this small little place with the bar in the middle. You know, they had a small stage, and now they moved the bar over to the other side, took out everything in the middle, and it's really awesome now. They put in a new sound system. It sounds great. But tonight at Dada, Local H is playing.
Who's that?
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm naming off random people.
Never heard of them.
You're not
You can make
listening,
fun of the
Austin.
names if you want. Like some of these band names, like I don't know where
Local
these guys.
herpes.
Could be.
Terrible. We'll work on that'll be a working title.
It's a working title.
At Rubber Gloves in Denton tonight, Disappointment Rock.
It'll live up to its
It's going to be a
name.
great show with those guys tonight.
I heard they're pretty disappointing. Come on. Just kidding. I don't know you guys.
On here again at Sardines, Johnny Case. He's on
all
here
playing all
every
the time.
week. I think we should like
Let's call him.
we should meet this guy.
We should call him. I want
Just
to call
because
Johnny
his
Case.
name pops up so much.
Yeah, he's always doing something in Dallas here. He's a local artist.
Probably too busy for us.
Nah.
At Buffalo Bros tonight, Vanilla Face Jones. Vanilla Face
Motherfucking Jones. Oh, I can't say that. That was a great movie, though, by the way. Horrible Bosses.
Tonight at Trees, Head PE.
Oh, I remember Head PE.
Yeah.
They used to Cottonmouth Kings. I remember hearing a lot of stuff they did with them and a couple other people. They're cool.
Right on. At Rubber Gloves, another name. This is probably like, I'm not guessing that this is like a soft indie rock band. I'm guessing this may have to be a little bit more metal, but the band's name is Discipline. I thought that was kind of funny. So let's see. The Library Bar. This is tomorrow night, Thursday night. Eric Barnes.
I didn't know they played music at the library. Is it the same library I'm thinking of?
I don't know. Maybe. I only know of one library.
Me too.
Thirsty Armadillo. Luke Holman. I'm guessing that's Texas Country. Capital Bar. Thursday night, Luke Wade.
I like Capital Bar.
Capital Bar is awesome.
I do like it out there. What's a TCU girls?
Friday night at Billy Bob's, Texas, Lone Star.
Lone Star.
Didn't they only have like one hit, like Baby You Amaze Me or something? It was like
amazing?
late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did he sing?
I don't know.
House of Blues, Friday night, Theory of a Dead Man.
Okay.
You know that band?
Nah, I heard of him. I never saw him live.
Got a Bad Girlfriend, whatever. That's what they sing about, that one hit song, whatever. Granada Theater, Friday night, the Turnpike Troubadours. That's a great band. If you guys haven't seen that band, Turnpike's really good. They're kind of like a folk, rock, country. They kind of fit into lots of categories. Let's see what else we got here. The Double Wide Friday night band. I love these like one-word bands. Descender. That's probably going to be a metal band, especially if they're playing the Double Wide.
That's a good name for a metal band. Descender.
Also, Dan Silverleaf's Friday night, one of my good buddies, Charlie Shafter. If you haven't seen Charlie Shafter, what a show. You guys make sure you make it out to Dance of Reliefs if you're in Denton. Go see Mr. Charlie Shafter. The Mule Barn, Friday night, Bart Crow Band. That's a huge Texas country artist that'll be playing out there. I'm sure that'll be packed to the max out there. The good thing about Texas country music is all the little girls, and I'm not saying girls, but young ladies, young ladies, and when I say young ladies, I mean over 21 that are allowed to be in the bar that love this Texas country music scene. It's just unreal the amount of women come to these shows. It's unreal. I mean, if you ever want to pick up a chick, Joey, like
shooting a barrel, like fish in a barrel kind of thing.
Right, pretend you like country music, like maybe you like know like 2 songs at least the artist sings, and you could talk your way into like a life of marriage and happiness.
Eventually, they'll ask me to 2-step, and it'll all fall apart.
Right,
the whole lie will unravel.
I have a lot of friends that try to talk me into going out to these country bars because there's a lot of girls there, and it's like, yeah, but then at the end of the night, you're stuck with a girl who listens to country.
Dude, what am I gonna do?
Saturday night at Billy Bob's, Joe Nichols. That's the guy that sings Tequila Makes Your Clothes Fall Off, I believe.
I know that guy.
Oh, no way. Check this out. Saturday at the Door in Dallas, Me Without You. Jimmy, you remember that band?
No.
Oh,
Me
man.
Without You.
Me Without You was a band that was kind of in the beginning of the hardcore scene, I guess you could say. And they're not really hardcore. He's like the kind of guy that like scream talks, I guess you could say. He did some stuff with Norma Jean and stuff with Solid State Records and Tooth and Nail back in the early 2000s. Man, I would like to go see those guys. It's a really great show. Also, Saturday night at Trees, Blackstone Cherry. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Why don't you play some people, tell some people we know?
I'm just picking up random stuff.
He can't just make up things.
I can't.
It's like, just makes up more popular bands.
U2's going to be coming right next door.
American Airlines Center.
Saturday night in Farmers Branch, the Gin Blossoms. Remember the Gin Blossoms?
Yes, I do remember that. What's the song that they...
Hey, Jealousy, Find Out About You, all the early 90s rock.
I've got some of that on my phone. It's all lame.
I recognize the name.
Sunday night at Billy Bob's, Texas, Three Dog Night.
Oh, check out that one.
Yeah, check out that one. House of Blues, Sunday night, The Darkness.
Oh, right.
Sunday
night.
Yeah.
And the next one,
Prophet Barb, also Sunday night, Dynamite Hack.
Oh,
let's go, man.
Sunday
They're
night.
on here twice
Dude,
for that.
Oh, we're man. I
just
got
got
so
back
many
from
things going
vacation.
on
I
today.
can't do that.
See, as soon as you told me to find some good ones, I found good ones.
You did. You
How does that work
stumbled
out?
onto a gold mine.
Sunday night at the Double Wide Parking Lot Pool Party.
You can't go Sunday night?
I mean, which one do you want to see?
Dynamite Hack.
Okay. Well, I only know like 2. They only had like 2 songs that were any good.
You didn't get the rest of their album?
I had the rest of their
I
album,
did
and
too.
only 3 of the songs were good. Two of them were the same song sung by different people.
Maybe they have new shit stuff.
Sunday night at the Pier 121 Marina, Ray Wiley Hubbard. That's another Texas country star. You guys don't like country, and we talk about this every week.
I
Even
mean,
a
it's
little.
fun to listen to at the river, but once we get back from
Yeah, I ignored it while we're playing on the river. It made sense.
You have to go. You have to go straight back into like hard metal. Oh, check this one out. Tuesday night at Trees, Eve 6.
All
Yeah,
right,
we were listening to
Tuesday
them.
night. I would go Tuesday
Are
night.
we really showing our age with that? Like we're
I don't
excited
care. I'd
about
go
like
see
an
Eve
alternative
6.
band from like 96,
they had the
97.
Open Road song. They have the
Enough that I'd recognize.
yeah, they have like 3 or 4 that I know.
Which is something I want to talk about next time we go on the camping trip. We need to like put more songs onto the iPod because I heard that song like 2 or 3 times. Some of the girls would just let their iPod just roll over, so you hear like haven't we heard the song before? They're like, shut up, dude. I like this
I'm
song,
sorry,
man.
we weren't all
Why are you
trying to
talking
impress
about
the DJ that night. So
I'm not saying you're impressing me. I don't want to hear songs like 3-4 times a night.
Well, we're all not professional.
we aren't
DJs.
professionals at playing music.
We did the best we could. If you wanted to step up at any time and take control of that, nobody would have stopped
he was
you.
off. He's on vacation.
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
touching
I'm not allowed to touch the iPod or the tunes because I'm on
I
vacation.
noticed that you didn't touch any of
Well,
the music, did you?
He put on a couple YouTube videos, but that's
No.
about it. That's stupid, Marcus.
Yeah.
Coming after you, dude.
Well, that looks like that's all for this week. There's some good stuff coming up next week, but we'll talk about that next week. So that's all for Late Night Insight. It is time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to put Joey on here. He's going to do a little Craigslist ads for you, a little insider's input. He's going to talk about TVs and movies and how he hasn't watched any in the past week.
Yeah, I missed everything.
And we'll do some other stuff. This is thebarlive.com. You're hanging out with the boys. I'm Patrick.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joey.
This is the YNR Radio Show. We'll be back here in just a little bit. It is thebarlive.com. Again, you're hanging out with the boys. This is the YNR Radio Show, May 23rd. This is the 4th segment of our show, per se.
Per se.
Per se.
What is per se?
I don't know. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about per se.
In this segment, I'm going to hand it over to Joey in a little bit. He's going to do his Craigslist ads and his insider's input. And
Yeah,
that's
I'm
pretty
ready
much
for that.
it.
Yeah, I got
that's
that.
Pretty much it.
I got that done.
Are you ready? Like,
more or less. I mean,
were you prepared this week?
not even. I mean, like I had I had an idea that I was going to talk about the toenail things that really annoyed me, and I thought it was pretty funny. But other
I like
than
how
that,
he thinks that's good content for the show. I'm gonna
that
talk
was the
about
content that
toenails.
I had prepared for the show was toenails, and I didn't even do any research. I just kind of thought of it.
I want to say one thing before we kick off Craigslist ads. If you're watching from the barlive.com, we've actually got it up where you can click on the tab that says shows, and it brings up all the shows we do here on the barlive.com right now. Obviously, Tuesday through Friday, noon to 2, we got the Pugs Moran show. Pugs does his PMS show, your daily dose of PMS, as he would say. I don't know what that means. That's
Hey,
kind of offended by that.
What is Moran?
I don't know. Is that his last name, Jimmy?
I thought Pugs
Yeah.
was Pugs is his first name.
Hold on.
Pugs told me that was his first and last name, like Cher. That's what he told me. He said he was like Cher.
Then, of course, every Wednesday from 4 to 6, you got the YNR Radio boys with the YNR Radio Show.
That's
we,
us.
We have our bio and stuff up
I
on the
saw that.
barlive.com, so make sure you go check that out. Joey wrote it. So if anything...
Austin and I wrote it together. I mean, I'd hammer something out, and he'd go through and be
okay.
like, and that move it around, put this here, we did it. He was sitting in the room. I was doing it aloud.
So there's going to be a bunch of run-on sentences and punctuation that's not necessarily where it needs to be. But we have our show bio and then our individual bios. And then at the bottom, every Wednesday from 7 to 10, we got the Big Dave show. We're at the bar with Big Dave, and he's got his stuff on there, too.
See if he learns how to say Pacquiao this time.
He's like, Pacchino, Pacchino,
Pacano.
Pacchino. Is that it? Is that it?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Whatever, he's gay. That's what I took from it.
It's funny because when every time we do the show, they're not broadcasting live tonight. They're doing their show tomorrow, right, Jimmy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, last week when we were here, after our show, we have a little meeting before their show starts. But what they don't know is we get in the car and we listen to their show as we're going home.
Because somebody has to listen.
Exactly.
Somebody's got to get their numbers up.
Now, we started this whole, I guess you could say we're friends with the Big Dave show, but we started this rivalry a couple weeks ago.
I know them. I wouldn't say we're friends. We're
Acquaint-
colleagues.
Acquaintances?
Colleagues at best.
Colleagues is a good word. Friends.
But as soon as we left the show last week, they started poking fun at the YNR Radio Show, saying we laugh at everything. And I said, funny enough, I don't laugh hardly ever at the Big Dave show.
We laugh at it.
Yeah.
We laugh at it.
Not like later on
With
when
it.
we're making fun of it.
I got all these clips at home, and I can't wait to put them together. I'm gonna have Jimmy help me, hopefully. But it's ones from their show, and they say stupid shit or stupid stuff, and they're just like, Lance is like, I smoke crack, I smoke crack, I smoke crack.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
And
drops
like-
from the Big Dave show.
And then Big Dave is on there. He's like, I wish I had big tatas or something. It's like, you do.
You do.
I don't know. It's funny. So we'll get that coming up. Stay tuned.
They'll be broadcasting tomorrow night, Jimmy, right? From 7 to 10?
Yes.
In their normal slot.
Uh-huh.
But it'll be Thursday instead of Wednesday. So
Yeah, go watch them. But in comparison, we'll look amazing.
anyway. Time. Or go ahead.
It's the only show that, a lot of times in radio, you'll have hurdles like, trying to get good content, things like that. Their hurdles are trying to pronounce names.
Pacchino.
I think one of the hurdles is trying to get along. Like, I know, like, it seems like I don't know if it's becoming a recurring thing every week that they come in here, they sit down for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, like, there's an explosion of, like,
Why is
egos.
it called the Big Dave Show? Why am I not involved?
Hey, we can't really make fun of Mel because she really does love us. She's the one defending
I
us
like
every
Mel.
time that they start picking on us.
I'm just
on
saying
the show.
their banter is awesome.
Well, they get in here and their whole forum seems to just be yell at each other for a while, and I feel like that's what makes us different. We're kind of we're like it's us against the world, whereas it's them against themselves. It works for them. Whatever works. I'm not knocking it. Just different.
The funniest thing about it is that they'll sit down and they'll be pretty reserved, and then the mics will actually go live, And then it's like, it's as if it snaps in all their head at the same time. Oh yeah, we don't like each other. What are we doing?
I forgot how much I hate you. Something about a mic in front of me reminds me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And what's I gotta talk shit about Mel because she was talking bad about their like one of their two sponsors, their Booms Farm. It was worse than Joey's plug. I mean, it was just like, I don't even know why you drink this shit. It's disgusting. And it's like, that's their sponsor. What are you doing?
I think he just likes doing the accent. Anyway, I wanted to ask Jimmy a question.
I do kind of like the accent.
Isn't it the reason we went to YouTube streaming in the first place is because of their vulgarities on their show? And now we're back on Justin TV, or we're on Ustream, right? So we have a certain rating, and it seems like, you know, we try to be reserved. We try to be at least a little bit professional with our language.
No F-bombs.
No F-bombs, you know.
No GDs.
You're right. But it seems like their show, they get on, you say, we're live in 5, 4, 3, and then just everything comes out at one time.
It's like they saved it till they were on the air. It's like he didn't swear all day long. He saved it all up for one big outburst. It's like a Tourette's thing.
No, I don't cuss a lot, but I use it for the extra level that you have to reach if you're trying to get something across to somebody. They use it just like in their daily language, like it's hard for them to even resist saying an F-bomb or something like that, you know? I'm surprised that one day they're going to I bet Mel's going to come in and just knock over Big Dave's computer, and he's going to be laughing.
See, we do laugh at a lot of stuff, but when it's funny, you know.
Yeah, but that wasn't really funny. That was a horrible Big Dave
That
impression.
was,
I really wish I could do a better
I was
one.
laughing because I was nervous, honestly.
That's another one. That's your nervous laugh.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's go into some Craigslist ads.
Okay,
Joey's got a
Craigslist
couple
ads.
lined up for us this week.
I got a couple of them this week. I didn't dive too deep because, like I said, I'm not too prepared, but this is pretty good. Required Dragon Slayer. I am quite sure most of you have seen the rather large green dragon that has been flying over the northeast side of Grand Rapids for the better part of a week. I'm looking for someone to, 1, lure said dragon away from Grand Rapids to a more rural area, 2, force said dragon to land in the rural area, and 3, slay said dragon in whatever way you see fit. No pay, dragon slaying is its own reward, of course. Please note that I'm not talking about the red dragon that frequents the area from time to time. He and I have an agreement.
What is this, the Lord of the Rings up
I
there
don't
or
know.
something?
I thought it was funny. It was about dragons.
That is funny.
That's a good one. I want to post weird stuff like that. See
You
if people
do?
Well, no, weirder stuff.
Weirder?
Okay, I got another one. Hang on. Click back. Scroll down. Look how the internet works with me when I want it to.
Refresh browser.
Didn't have to
Contact
do
Tier
that.
1 tech support.
All right, this one's called To the Person Who Has My IKEA Dresser, ... I'm sorry to have to post this, but a horrible mistake was made. When you picked up the dresser, I was not at home. My roommate was supposed to make sure that my ferrets were put away, but bottom line, my 2 ferrets are in separate drawers of the dresser. They should be okay, but I warn you not to take them both out at the same time. They are rescues, and I was never able to socialize them. They will not only fight to the death, but actually plot each other's demise. Otherwise, they're perfectly fine. Have you guys seen ferrets before? You guys ever played with them?
I apparently can't put two together because
They're stinky. They're
They
like-
do stink awful, but they're little hellions, man. I had a kid that lived down the street from me when I was a kid that had one, and like his parents, him and his family came back from vacation, and like they thought they'd been robbed, but all it was the ferret had gotten out and just ransacked the house. I mean, in and out of everything, ripped open the cushions, tore open all the cabinets. They were gone for like 5 days, and this thing just destroyed everything. But they're known escape artists. That's what they do. Is just I don't know why people keep them as pets. They look cool. That they feel all.
wouldn't
I had a buddy that had one, and it was just the most disgusting
They feel
house
gross.
animal ever. It's
Yeah.
The whole house stunk. I'm like, can you not smell that smell coming from your house? You know, if you have a cat or a dog and it smells like pee, that's disgusting, but that's one thing. But a ferret is like a completely different level.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, I got a follow up to the whole couch thing with the Craigslist ad.
Really?
Have you seen that? Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, I actually got 2 of them. 2 people want it. So far, Epic Person. I don't know who you are, but they want pictures, and I will send you pictures tonight when I get home.
Pictures of
And
me on the couch.
We'll, yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
We'll make it like all like I don't know. Never mind.
Scandalous.
Make it gay. That's
Yeah,
what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Demographic.
Well, I had this whole thing, like this Titanic thing in my mind. I was like, I really don't want to see Joey
Titanic.
was laying on the couch. You know, like,
I want you to draw me.
That's a paying customer.
and those are the pictures we sent. Is Joey like half naked on the couch? Like, hey, okay. Anyways, Will Gaffney.
We should just post his picture on the original, like the one. Take a photo, shot of the one from the movie, and just post Photoshop Joey's face into the couch.
That's what we should do.
I can't Photoshop.
My sister knows how to Photoshop. I'm not going to get her to help me with this.
You're bringing it up.
Thanks for volunteering on that one,
Way
Joey.
to plug your sister there.
Yeah.
Where can we find your sister at?
At her house, being very pregnant.
Yeah, so 2 people want pictures of it, and I will send it to them.
Okay.
Other than that, I reposted it, so maybe we'll get something else.
All right, so if you guys have been on the YNR email, which our email is ynrradio@gmail.com, we get lots of stuff, but there was this email that I got that was kind of different.
I saw it.
I had to remember actually what was going on. I got this phone call the other day from the guy. He's like, yeah, you remember me, blah, 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 which I get a lot of those, I'm like trying to remember, like, man, I've talked to so many people throughout the week. It's hard for me to remember. And he's like, something about security or security detail. And I'm like, okay, I think I remember what's going on. So I sent you an email. I'm like, well, let me check the email. So apparently I met this guy the other night who's like, if you guys ever want like personal security for your shows or when you go out, like I'm the man you call. I have a whole team of people.
Bodyguards.
Security, I
But-
like that.
But at first, the way he posted this on the email, it sounded like a response from like a Craigslist ad or something. It says, it doesn't have any introductions from someone named Taylor. It says, I'm 6'4", weigh 235. I do MMA. I don't hesitate to throw for my crew.
I like his enthusiasm.
Hold on, listen. This is funny.
Okay. I do MMA. I don't hesitate to throw for my crew, being y'all if y'all let me in, LOL. I'm a great people person, and I have one other man on my staff. But I'll be honest with you, me and him are all you need for personal security. If you have any question or concerns, let me know. And my main rate is bottom line, 100 a show. That's all, if possible, LOL.
Why was he LOLing so much?
funny?
I don't want to hire a guy to protect me that LOLs that much. He didn't really laugh out loud that many times during that post. I didn't.
So we have somebody who wants to do personal security for us. Jimmy, if you ever need personal security, we got
Do you ever find
got
yourself
you a
just
guy.
swarmed with fans from your radio shows? It happens all the time. We leave the Sunbrew house, can't fight through the hordes.
Well, with him LOLing so
hordes or
often,
hordes?
I could put him in front of our broadcast. I don't know that he's really going to be able to help us defend from anybody, but
Well, if he's laughing out loud that much, we can bring him along for the show.
yeah, at least mic him up.
A live studio audience.
He's probably one of those people that instead of laughing actually say LOL, like in real life.
Or no,
You ever
that's-
met some of those people?
Oh,
That's
Like,
so funny.
LOL, like, could you not?
Wait, what does he say he does? I'm trying to look him up on Facebook.
He does. I do MMA, and I don't hesitate to throw for my crew.
He'll swing on you.
Being y'all, if y'all let me in. LOL. I'm a great people person.
So we're his crew if we let him in.
I guess so.
Well, I don't
Well,
know.
he needs to stop laughing about it if he wants us. If he wants us to take
He
him
might as well have said
seriously.
I go hard for the hood.
I see this one guy.
Well, thank you, Taylor, for sending us an email. And I responded. I said, thanks, man. We'll keep you in mind if we need you. Which maybe one day we will need him. You know,
That'll always be the dream.
one day as I'm passing through Oak Cliff in my
I don't think
67 Snoop DeVille.
How do you know he's black?
I'm not just saying.
Oh,
Well, I don't know that this guy's black. I'm not. I don't know.
his
But
name's Taylor
just
Trammell.
from the
That's fine.
grammar, it sounds of that kind of context. That's why I went there. But I'm not actually saying the guy's African American. So
Yeah, and black people don't LOL, do they?
No,
No,
they
I wouldn't
never
think
do.
so.
No.
I've never seen a black person.
Okay.
Well, that's a very white thing to do.
Yeah.
LOLing.
Yeah.
lolling.
so I said Oak Cliff. Maybe Colleyville. All right. Well, thanks, Taylor, for your inquiry to our security needs.
If we ever need one, we'll definitely let you know.
Absolutely. So
You know, in fact, if we ever get this whole Girl of the Week thing up and going, which I guess we need to bring someone out next week, hopefully. We'll
Okay.
try and find a girl. Anyways, if we get the whole Girl of the Week thing going, maybe we can use the limo service that guys. What's the name of that limo service
Bernard.
again? No, what's the name of the service?
Lavish
Lavish
limo.
limos,
Lavish
yeah.
limos.
I had to get the card out. Lavish limousines.
So yeah, maybe if we call Bernard at Lavish Limousines, maybe he can hook us up or something, and we can take all the girls we have out on the show out one time. So we'll have like I don't know, a bunch of girls, and I don't really know if we need a security guard, but it'd be cool if we had a.
I could at least have Taylor roll out the red carpet.
Would
Yeah.
he not just want to ride just to go?
I'm sure.
I mean, we could just be like, listen, Mo, if you just want to hang out, we'll give you a test run, see how you do. You need to protect us and the girls.
We're gonna have random people come at us at certain times, and you have to be able to protect
need you to
ourselves.
do
And
it.
if it's up to our standards, then we'll consider you for the job.
Yeah, let's test them out.
I like that idea.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll call Bernard. Maybe we'll get something set up over at
work.
Lavish Limos.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the show. We got about 6 minutes left, but I want to go ahead and hand it over to Joey one last time for a segment we like to call Insider's Input. He tells us what's going on the TV and in the theaters.
In the movies and theaters and everything, I haven't watched any of my stories for this week. I'll have Game of Thrones and Mad Men to watch when I get home tonight, but I don't have it now. But I did look through the box office hits and everything. Avengers takes it again this week. Third week in a row.
Do we know where they're at?
They're at right now. They've grossed $458 million.
Man, $500 million.
Yeah, and that's 3 weeks in. They're going to destroy this. At a distant second was Battleship, which I didn't see. I hear bad things, and
That's
it
just
looked
because
bad
it's opening
to me.
week and nothing else
Honestly,
is going on.
if you have a movie that's Navy-driven and like awesome war stuff, and Rihanna's in it, I don't think it's going to do very well. Honestly, just my
It looks
opinion.
like a lot of wasted money. Like people spent a lot of money on this movie and thought, I don't know.
It's like putting the Spice Girls in Braveheart.
Why do you make a movie out of a board game like Battleship anyway?
Yeah, well, how do you make?
Is it really based off the board game?
I don't know.
Like, how do you make a movie
think-
about Monopoly?
I bet Mattel's on there somewhere.
I think if you have a great idea and you want to create a buzz about it, and even if the movie's no good, if you make a lot of money, I consider it a success in some form or fashion.
How much did they make?
It's at $25.5 million right now.
Okay, so that's a bomb.
Not
Yeah,
doing good.
that's a.
Oh, and get this, the distant third, we've got The Dictator.
Ooh.
Just blowing up, just destroying.
I know they
just being
spent a
awful. It's
lot of
awful.
money on marketing for that movie.
Apparently, it's not the best parts of the movie are in the trailers, and I hear it's terrible.
What about-
It's at seven. It opened opening weekend. It opened with 17.4 million.
What about Dark Shadow?
Dark Shadow is way down here. It's not even up here. I mean, Dark Shadow didn't do well either.
That bombed.
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 You got The Hunger Games still on there after like 9 weeks.
Like Joey said last week, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp need to have
need
a
to take a
period of
break, a hiatus.
separation.
Yeah, they suck.
There was a little bit of news. I mean, I was kind of flipping through IMDb, just getting some news stuff off of here. Apparently, you guys ever watched The Big Bang Theory?
Of course.
Apparently, we're
Okay.
called the Big Bang. Who said that, by the way?
I can't remember who it was.
It's Brandon.
It was Brandon. He said
when they-
we're the Big Bang Theory of radio with sex appeal. But that coming from Brandon kind of makes me curious.
Super Shaw.
He asked me.
Brandon keeps commenting my looks. I think he has a crush on me.
It's a man crush.
He's been doing this for like weeks. He's like, you look good, dude. You look fit.
So
I
you're
think
telling me
smell.
you're telling me the whole Sunbrew bikini team is a front?
I didn't say that. Maybe it's just me.
We can't say that. There
maybe
are
he's
sponsors.
not. Maybe he's not gay. Maybe he's just gay for Joey.
By the way, we love Brandon. We love Sunbrew bikini team. Thank you very much for being a part.
Super
no. My point is, I was talking about something. We got way
Okay,
off topic. We're making fun of Brandon now.
Joey does not speak for YNR Radio or any of its affiliates.
Okay, so anyway, Big Bang Theory. That guy Sheldon off of it, the gay-looking one.
Yeah.
It turns out he's actually gay. He kind of finally came out. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not a shock. I thought he was anyway.
Yeah, apparently Gator is true. They did
I don't
research
know.
on
I
it.
mean, I just thought that was the only news that I found in there.
In the history of people coming out of the closet on when you have a hit, TV show, it could either shoot you really high or you could bomb your show.
We'll see what happens with Tosh.0 when he does it.
Do you think?
I don't know. He makes me. I didn't think so for a long time, but he really does some very questionable things.
I think that's all part of the act.
It's a good act because.
For example, but this was in a.
Jimmy, what do you got?
I can't say.
What do you say, Jimmy?
I can't say. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Okay, wink twice.
No. It's the opposite. It's the opposite way.
Wink
really?
once
Yeah.
for gay, wink twice for not gay.
Wait, I think that was like
10.
3. Yeah.
Did you just have a seizure?
Yeah. I think I lost control of one of my eyes as I was trying to blink it.
switching.
Do you know how to blink?
I think I just found out I don't know how to do that. Thank you guys.
Just winking at me.
Okay.
Hey.
So in television history, there's been a couple shows that have bombed because someone has come out of the closet. The Ellen DeGeneres show had bombed after she came out of the closet, but I think people as
I don't think anybody cares now. It's not
I think
a big deal.
people as a society back then cared a lot more about the subject.
I thought that show
Then,
was
but
actually.
look at
pretty
Neil
good.
Patrick Harris.
Yeah, that show's. How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones right now, and I would not have thought I'd like that kind of show. Just not my kind
You're
of
just
thing.
hooked in
The
at this
funny-
point. You can't
No,
let it go.
I'm not letting it go. The show gets better all the time. I'm way behind. I just finished season 7. I'm loving it.
I'm going to say the single movie that hit off his career again was Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
Have you seen Dr. Horrible's sing along thing on a? It's really stupid, but it's like little 15-minute episodes about just him doing this little musical thing for Netflix specifically.
Huh, I have to watch that.
Yeah.
So where were you going with the Big Bang Theory thing?
Oh, just that he was gay,
Oh,
and then I thought he was all along.
This just in. All
I
right,
just
guys.
wasn't surprised.
We gotta cut it off here. So
oh.
say your goodbyes.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
This is thebarlive.com. You're listening to the YNR Radio Show. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you want to email us, it's ynrradio@gmail.com. Check out our website, ynrradio.tumblr.com. And, of course, our number one used thing, facebook.com/YNRradio. I am Patrick.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joey.
And this is the YNR Radio Show again. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Every Wednesday from 4 to 6 right here at thebarlive.com.
Happy Memorial Day.
That's right.
Show cheese, tell her friends like